Hello. It's time for the final tier list for now. And we're going to go into the worst of the worst with the Shadowbringer Big Fish. So here's yet another Big Fish tier list by Mae-mae. Yours truly. Giraffe matriarch. As my viewers call. Anyway, let's go over the tiers. D tier, for fish that are generally always available, very easy to get as long as you have a little bit of patience. C tier is for fish that you will forget as soon as you get them because you didn't have any trouble with them. B tier is for fish that you will not forget, but you will also not have a particularly good memory of them, or a particularly distinct memory of them, because they are not going to give you an insane amount of trouble, but they can sometimes give you some trouble. B tier is sort of where the tier list starts to make a point of the fact that it is a tier list, which means that it's an, not an objective thing. So if you're personally offended by my opinion on virtual fish, I don't know, get a hobby, maybe. But some people's B tiers might go up to A or C or whatever, kind of depending on personal experience. It's all RNG after all, so, you know. A tier is when you're going to start disliking the game, and you're going to start thinking that, I don't think I like this RNG system anymore. And S tier is the point where you start doubting if you actually can do this. If you really, really want to even do this. Because it feels like, even though you love fishing so much, all the devs give you is hate as a reward. Like, they're gonna, like, you've put so much effort into it, you've come to the end of your journey, and you're in Shadowbringers now, and the big fish title is drawing near. And then the devs are like, well, you know, your subscription seems to be lasting for another 6 months, so... well, we just figured that maybe one of these fish is going to last for the entirety of your subscription, so you have to buy some more. They are going to frustrate you. They are going to make you feel abused. They're going to make you feel like you hate the game. And they're not going to be a good time. Especially here. Trust me. Joseph Undeath. Absolutely let's put it into a B tier fish, and the Lystracanthus that you have to mooch off of it is an A tier. Pretty rare window. You have to catch a big fish, and you have to mooch that big fish into another big fish. What we talked about, the unique sprites, if it has a unique sprite, it's going to be a terrible time, and oh boy, this thing is definitely a terrible time. By these standards, it might even be S tier in some of the other lists, but since we're in Shadowbringers and the S tier is going to be for the worst of the worst fish in the entire game, I'm not going to put Lystracanthus up there because some of the S tier fish are just absolute nightmare stuff. Winged Dame, pretty easy to get. Also nice that you can get those winged butterflies or whatever, fish that look exactly the same as this thing, just without the green glow. They sell for pretty good money because I think people like to have them in their aquariums or something like that. Mother of all pancakes can be a little bit frustrating sometimes, but it's not really a tough time, at least in comparison with a lot of other Shadowbringer stuff. Unforgiven, absolutely C tier. Deep Hunt, absolutely A tier. Deep Hunt is one of those fish, just like the goblin bass that we encountered in the previous tier list. No, it was in Heavensward. That has sometimes it's not available for several weeks, and when it's available, it's only available for a few minutes. So, for example, if you're like a normal, sane person who goes to work, goes to 9 to 5. This might very easily become an S tier because it's never available when you want it to be. It sucks. It can definitely be a bad time. Ondosai, I remember taking multiple times with this one because it has a very short window and it bites pretty scarcely. Aquamaton, absolutely A tier. Would definitely be an S tier in like any of the previous tier lists. Just terrible. Terrible. It requires a really annoying Fisher's Intuition that involves the Shade Shifter, which is like a B tier big fish. Sometimes you might get like one bite from the Shade Shifter during the entire window and it escapes your hook and you're gonna hate it. And then sometimes you get the Fisher's Intuition and the Aquamaton doesn't bite at all, just to like mock you. And then sometimes you get those windows where everything works out perfectly, the aquamaton bites, and it doesn't come up. It's like telling you to go fuck yourself. It is nice in the sense that it can be sold for a lot of money because people like to put them in their aquariums. So if you want to not make any real money, but if you want to dream about making some money once every like 7 months, maybe catch an aquamaton, I guess. Yeah, so D tier, right? This isn't going to be in D tier because it's a hard or an easy fish to catch, but it's because I hate it. I hate it with a passion. And the reason to why I hate it with a passion is this piece of shit, not that one. This one goes into S tier. So in the previous tier list, if I don't remember wrong, there was this fish called the Drenaspis, something like that. And the Drenaspis had a condition of so you had, I think, like 20 minutes for the Drenaspis, where you had to catch 2 bond splitter big fish that are like crabs. And once you've caught those 2, you get Fisher's Intuition, during which you will be able to try for the Drenaspis. Lancet fish is the same, except that it sucks, because you have to catch 2 more Tectas within 5 minutes. And when you go to Shadowbringers, you'll sort of, like, the ratio for how often the big fish bites is really low. It's about 3 to 5% or something like that. So roughly 1 every 20 fish is going to be the big fish that you're looking for, if you're really lucky. Most cases, probably 1 every 30 or so. You have 6 minutes, I think, of time to catch 2 of these Maratectas. And on average, you'll be able to pull maybe 4 or 5 fish every minute, which means that in 4 minutes, you'll have met 20 fish. And in 6 minutes, you'll have met 30 fish on average. And by the statistics of this thing, statistically speaking, you're probably going to encounter 1 bite from them during that window. It has maybe like a 40% chance of being successfully pulled up, at least in my experience. And you have to catch 2 of them within 5 or 6 minutes. It's an absolute nightmare. And then when you get the Fisher's Intuition, there's no guarantee that this motherfucker is even going to bite. It's very, very easy to hear people saying that, yeah, they've spent a good few months trying to go for the last fish. Absolutely nightmarishly bad. Sunken Tome. It is rare, where it doesn't bite often, but once it does, once it's its feeding time, it's pretty easy to get. The Celestial is A tier, absolutely just a bad time. But sometimes you can get lucky. So the Celestial has a weird window where it's like I think it was like a weather transition or a particular weather, and then it has a long window during which it bites. However, because the weather transition system, it doesn't work in tangent with the big fish biting times, sometimes you will only get like a 2-minute window for the Celestial to catch for it, and probably won't get it. But if you get lucky, you might get like a 20-minute window for it, which is basically a guaranteed pull. Well, nothing is guaranteed with RNG, but it's a very high likelihood to pull during those windows. Nabath Saw, also A tier. It just never bites. It's just, I think I went on to like 10 or 20 windows and I never got a single bite from this thing. I think in total I got 2 bites before I pulled it, so it has a semi-high pull rate in my experience. However, it's insanely rare to bite. Sweetheart, C tier. Damaran Herring is one of those guys that are always available. Opal Shrimp, basically the same as the Ondo side. They're basically the same fish, just in a different place. Cinder Surprise. So, if anybody wants to try to defend why this fish has a system where it can sometimes be unavailable for over a month, or at least a month. So obviously the reason to why it's like that is because they want to milk you for your subscription as much as they can. But if anybody wants to try to defend it from a gameplay standpoint, I don't want to hear it. Go fuck yourself. I have a fisher's tale here. There was this one guy on the pool with me with the Cinder surprise who had been fishing for it since it was released, 1.5 years. Still hadn't pulled it. Obviously he was lying about a lot of the time, like he was exaggerating about how much time he actually spent on it. That's what most fishers do. That's why they're fishing tails. But he was like complaining and complaining when the fishing window started, and was like, it's so unfair, I hate it, I've spent such a long time here, I hate the fishing, it's so bad. Then he pulled it during the window, and suddenly, I love fishing, it's such a well-designed game, it's so good, isn't it, guys? I love the fishing, it's so great, and I feel so good. Yeah. If you ever find a person like this, if you have an emote that allows you to punch them in the dick, feel free to do it. I give you the permission to do so. If they ask, why did you do that? You can tell them, Mae-mae told me it's okay. Those kinds of people, don't hang out with them. They're bad company. Giant Diamond. It's funny because Diamond is the name of the fish in Finnish too. I'm from Finland. Pearl Pipira can actually take you a good time to get. It's really annoying sometimes. Scan. Only available about once every week on average. And when it's available, it's only available for 90 seconds. And when it bites, it's not guaranteed to pull. Because why would it be? That would be like good design, right? That would actually be satisfying. To just, like, imagine how unfair this system is for people who go to work. Like, if you have a 9 to 5, you're gonna miss like 30% of all of the scan windows, if not 50% of them. And when you get the chance to go for it, it's not gonna bite. And when after like 5 or 6 windows, when it's gonna bite for the first time, it's not even gonna pull. It can be absolutely crushing. And the scan is another very good example of like just the design of the big fishing system is just to make people feel frustrated about it. It's not meant to be fun. And if you see any people in the comments who are trying to act like fishing for this trash is fun, they're the Stockholm Syndrome people. They just point at them and laugh. You have my permission to do so. Goldhammer. Actually kind of easy. Something about the crabs that makes them very easy. Priest of FFXIV. Let's actually put these guys into this. So I'm not gonna say that they're the same as the Scan or the Cinder Surprise or the Lancet Fish, but simply because you're gonna get a lot of tries for these, and you're gonna fail even more. Like a massive amount of tries you're gonna fail. And it's going to hurt your heart, most likely. So the way to get this guy is you have to first catch a fish in the fishing old. There's six minutes of time, once every hour, 6 minutes to get these. You have first like a 10%, 5% chance, roughly, maybe 10%, let's say 10% chance to have a fish called Clown Tetra to bite. There's a way to manipulate the odds. Basically, you want to do... the Clown Tetra cannot bite after 12 seconds. So after 12 seconds has passed, you pull your lure and you're gonna be good. You don't need to keep it in there for further. It's gonna be a trash fish. During the 12 seconds, it can only be the Clown Tetra or a yellow Pipira. If you get the yellow Pipira, you surface slap it, then it's guaranteed to be the Clown Tetra. Okay. We got past the first phase. Clown Tetra is pulled. We have it in hand. We're gonna mooch it into the water. And now we have a roughly 30-40% chance to successfully pull an Eriops, which is a crocodile-looking thing. And if you successfully manage to get the area ups, then you have to mooch that and try to get the Priest of Ixlokwa, who has like a 5% chance of successfully being pulled, which is insanely low, and it's going to crush you and your soul. And then once you pull the Priest of Ixlokwa, you're gonna have to mooch it again, and then the Greater Serpent of Ronka will always bite onto it, and it has like an 80% chance maybe to be successfully pulled. So you can even fail it. Technically speaking, the Priest of Ixlokwa is the harder one to get out of these, but the Greater Serpent of Ronka, because you still have to get it after the Priest of Ixlokwa, that's what makes it so hard. So I, for example, had 6 seconds of time left for the window when I threw the lure in for the Greater Serpent of Ronka. Luckily, the system is basically, as long as you throw your lure within the window, you can still pull the big fish. So don't worry about it. I managed to get it on first try once I did get the Priest of Ixlokwa, but it took me like a month to successfully pull the Priest of Ixlokwa. It's going to taunt you, and it's going to make you feel emotions that you didn't know are in your body yet. Golden Pipira only bites for a really short time, and every other fish in the fishing hole bites really, really fast, really frequently, and it can go through your like GP really fast. But generally not a super tough fish. Python Discus, extremely rare to bite, or like the fishing window is really, really rare. Once it does come up, it's pretty easy to get. Usually takes you like 1 or 2 or 3 windows to get it. Not insanely bad, unless you're really unlucky. Henodus Grandis can actually be really annoying. Let's put it into A tier, just because there's also Grandis that looks exactly the same, who can bite, and it's a 3 exclamation point fish, and you think that you got, oh, I got the big fish, and no, you didn't. It's just the Grandis. Record Killer is very unforgettable, very forgettable. Leon Shig as well. Campling Caltrop, I think just the B tier. Loose Pendant, pretty easy. Star Chaser, really easy. Aster Trivi can definitely take you a time. It's rare and it has a short window. Maru Crab is pretty much... it's not the same as Aster Trivi. It's also just has a short window. It's semi-rare. Can be annoying sometimes, for sure. And in most cases, the problem with the Maru Crab is the fact that it doesn't bite at all. So once you do get the bite, it's usually easy to pull. But you are going to have to wait a few windows until you're going to get your first bite. Steel Fan, C tier. Blackjet, C tier. Moonlight Guppy, C tier. Steel Razor, C tier. Bronze Soul, I actually had a bad time with it personally. Took me multiple windows because it just wouldn't bite at all. I don't like it. I don't even know what it's supposed to be. It's like an almond or something like that. I don't know. But it sucks. Sound of Fury is really easy. It's gonna make you think that, oh, I'm done with the Lake Eel Meg, or the whatever it's called. Long Mirror Lake, and then you realize that, oh, the Skan also lives there, and you're like, oh, fuck. Scene Steeped, don't have any memory of this. I don't think it's that tough to get. Hornet King actually took me a long time to get for some reason. It just would not bite. It's like one of those cannibal fish loops where you mooch you catch a fish, you mooch it, and the same fish that you just caught, the same fish that you're mooching on has like an 85 or 95% chance of biting onto it, and then there's the 5% chance that it's the rare version, which is the Horned King. Oh shit, it's the Lahi music. Let's get this done with soon, so that we don't get Lahi'd too hard. Ondo Taker, B tier, can definitely take you multiple windows, has a short bite time. So be, well, a short window, so be prepared for it. Wait, where did I... Oh, White Runzo, C tier. Yeah, so the Ondo Taker can definitely take you a few windows, for sure. It's kind of similar to the Sunken Tome in how it sort of behaves. But once you figure out just a good rhythm to go onto its windows, you'll probably pull it. But yeah, before the Curse of Lahi is gonna get you too hard, I think I'm gonna end this video here. And we have now completed all of the tier lists for this point. I'm not gonna go into Endwalker yet because it is not complete yet. Really important thing, if you do plan on going for the big fish title, make sure that your fish tracker has especially this and this. You're gonna regret it. Seriously, you're gonna really regret it if you don't have these guys tagged early. The faster you can get them done with, the more easy it is going to be to get to that big fish title. So always have these on your tracker. I've had them in the tracker from the start. I've been fishing for like 3 or 4 months now, and I still haven't gotten them. So yeah. Anyway, I hope my tier list was very like, it just bloodily insulted you, and I will see you again on the next one in like a while. And yeah, bye yo.